Hey everyone, I'm so excited today about this project. I know that making loaded pockets and all the things out of a brown paper bag, there's nothing new about that. But I just love how these turned out. These grungy looking loaded pockets and these tickets. These tickets might be my favorite thing. So when I did this loaded pocket, nothing went to waste because the sides were turned into these. So I thought I would walk you through real quick what they are, and we can do one really quick. Obviously, it's just a lunch bag, and there are pockets on the front and back. So there's one large one, or one, tall one on the back. There are two on the front, and they're kind of shallow on the front. And then, of course, inside is another pocket. So we have 4 pockets total and lots of ephemera. This one has just an assortment of a bingo card, writing spots. Those are in the middle. And I don't know, I guess through time, because I've had these bags for a really, really long time, I have torn every single one of them. At the top, there's a tear right here. So on these, I use some of my age tape. And this little flower is a brad that can come off so you can put it somewhere else. I just put it on this pocket for decoration. This one doesn't come off. It's just a collage with some ribbon and a digital and different little things on the cluster. So here are some tickets. This is a used coffee filter tab. And honestly, the torn pieces, I couldn't decide if I wanted to fix them or not because I just thought they added to the look of it all. And then I just made some more tags. This is a digital, and I've done some stamping, sewed a little bit of the crinkled seam binding, and it's a writing spot. It's back to some tea-dyed paper. Got a coffee filter, used coffee filter collaged card. Another writing spot with, it's got some baking paper, little cluster, and it's back to some of, again, the brown packaging. I made this piece, a little cluster. I was going to put it on the back. But then I thought, if you bought this for decorating and embellishing your own journal, that might be something you want to put on a page or, on one of these pieces. So I left it loose. This is just a little tea-dyed faux postcard. Tuck that in there. And a baby used coffee filter collaged card. And the back of it, there are lots and lots of writing spots. This one has a 7 and choose joy. And it's back to tea-dyed paper. Some of these we made in a previous video. This is a faux postcard. I didn't make this one. I just thought it was really cool looking. A little file folder, and I put a little piece of muslin here and stamped it with a number. Little cluster here. Used coffee filter collaged to a flashcard. These are some of the tickets. This is made from a toilet paper roll that I've embossed and painted and put this picture behind there. This is actually part of those flowers that I spray painted, and I just cut off some of the edge and tore it to make it look really jagged. This is packing paper behind for a writing spot on that one. I'm going to go ahead and show you each of these packets because I am going to list them in my Etsy shop, and this will just be kind of a walkthrough of them. But at the end of this video, I will show you the tutorial on how to make them if you like them. This is a digital little cluster, Believe in Yourself. This is some screen door. Again, I think that looks cool. This one has been distress painted and some stamping. The back of this one has, isn't that cool? And I was going to put something here to embellish it. And then I thought if it was something that you wanted to stick down to your journal, I left this open. So that's got lots of room to embellish. The back of this one has one of the cellophane pockets, and you can hinge this to a page, and it has a couple of pieces of writing spots in it. This is alcohol ink on photo paper that I had a stencil and dropped it on. This one I'd done a long time ago, and then I backed it to tea-dyed paper. This is a flashcard, backed it to tea-dyed paper, and those are in this little pocket, and these are so much fun to hinge to a page. And I do believe I have a tutorial on how to make these cellophane. These are just from packaging. And then another flashcard, a writing spot, and another little tag. The front of this one has some writing spots and tickets, a file folder, again with the muslin and the stamped number, a faux postcard, grungy playing card. This is made from aluminum foil and back to toilet paper roll. It's been distress inked with some crinkled seam binding. Another little writing spot. More of the distress tape here. And the inside is a sewn piece that you can make as a pocket or glue it onto the side of a page. This is one of the hinged, the page pieces made out of an envelope. So how it works is, if this is your journal page, you glue this piece, this flap, onto your journal page, like so. So this will show there's a pocket here. This will be a pocket on the back if you just glue the top and the bottom. And then you just open it up. There's writing spot. Open it again. You have more writing and two pockets here. Each of these, I think, have approximately 10 to 15 pieces of ephemera. I'm not exactly sure. I will count it and put that amount in the Etsy shop. And the last one, I have printed some of the Lemon Creations digitals of the dancers on sticker paper. That's on the front pocket. Top pocket has a grungy notepad made from the aluminum foil that I used the rust process. Little bit of screen door. And this is the outline of the number 3 that I punched. Just a little, printed the word notes on some tea-dyed paper and stamped it a little bit. There's the back. And this is just a lot of grungy paper that I've put in here. Some packing paper. Some tea-dyed paper that I've watercolored. I believe it was watercolor. Yeah, I can tell by the way it feels. Kind of has that grit to it. So there's just a little grungy notebook. And it has been stapled together. Writing spot. More writing. Another one of the little stickers. The ticket tab. A little bit of crinkled seam binding. Grungy card. More writing. More writing. Inside the big pocket is some of the packaging that I painted and stamped. These are fun to make tags out of, tag toppers or page tabs. You could even probably make this straight and make tickets out of it, like I'm going to show you today. There's a piece of tea-dyed paint sample and one of the Crazy Cats envelopes. It says caffeinated. Has distress ink smushed on it. Little aluminum tab. Has a pocket in the back with writing spot. And then the back of this one looks like this. A little bit of, there's a stress tape at the top. More writing spots. Little file folder with the muslin again and the stamp. Used coffee filter collage to a flashcard. Has some book page in this one. Another writing spot with one of the stickers. Some chiffon ruffle I've sewn on. Or glued on. I sewed the chiffon ruffle. More writing. And some tickets. So as you can tell, they hold a lot of ephemera. And they're fairly flat. They're not real thick or bulked up. Those will go up in my Etsy shop soon, but that's just a walkthrough of what they contain. And if you're interested in how to make them, stick around. I'm going to show that now. So we have our brown paper bag. First thing I do is open it up. So the sides we're going to bring out. Just like so. And what I did on all of these, and some of them it's maybe not easy to see, but on all of them, the only background I did was some script writing. I just took the vintage, not oxide ink, this is permanent ink, and stamped the whole bag. And I did first, second, and third stampings just to give it that layered look. Open up your little flap and get in here if you want to, because I don't know that that gets seen, but I know it's there, so I stamped it too. Okay, so that was my first step. At this point, if you want to paint it, or with watercolor distress inks, which is what I used, you would do that before we do any cutting, because you want all of these things. Once we do the folding, and I did paint some of these after I folded them, and I didn't like the fact that the insides of the pockets didn't have color, so I tried to make sure it ran down in there. But if you do it now, you don't have to worry about that. But you can certainly leave it at this stage, and then we'll pick up when it at the time to cut. You can, this is all you need to do to it. It just looks wonderful. Once you ink and do the things, it looks grungy enough. I am going to go ahead and use some distress inks on this one. I have a piece of paper towel, or sorry, this is paper towel roll that I have embossed, and I'm going to use it kind of like I did the other piece, hopefully on this piece, if I do my colors. I think I'm going to use some bundled sage, black soot, some peacock feather, and I might end up using a little bit of this forest moss. We'll see. So I just sprayed some on my little plastic plate here, and I'm not adding water or anything to it. I'm just going to spray it on and then smush it onto the bag. Just random spots. And I'll continue to do this on the front and the back with all of the spray colors that I chose. And then I'll also end up using the oxide ink pad, but after I smush it onto the plate, of course it just looks like squares, so I do spray water on it to make it mix a little better. Another thing I did was I did spray some on the bag, and then I sprayed it with water to make it run down to give it a little bit more grungy look. And another way that I've done it a couple of ways, was this, and I'll show you. To go ahead and cut these sides off. Actually, I think when I done it before, I tore the sides with a ruler. because I wanted that torn look. And when you're tearing it, I will tell you, it's easier to tear from the top as opposed to starting with the thick bottom. It doesn't tear very good. So I just laid my ruler there. And this is not a tear ruler. And tore down like this. And then you have these big pieces that we're going to make the tickets out of. Just like that. And then I just kind of make sure that I do have all of it gone, and I do. So this is another way you can do it. Just spread it completely out, then spray it with the water. It starts moving around, obviously. And then you can just fold over the other side and smush them down and get the colors going from front to back. And then just keep doing that. Use the oxide sprays or the ink pad. Smush it or spray it onto your bag and then squirt with water. Let it run and smash both sides together until you get the effect that you're looking for. So you can kind of tell the difference when you wet it and smush them together versus just, I mean, I think you get a bolder look this way, a more grungy look than just doing it on the plate like I did to begin with. And I also take my pieces from the sides and smush them on as well to pick up some of the color. So basically, I used each piece to just move it around and coat the whole thing. So here are the side pieces. And then here is the big piece. And you can just keep adding more color however you like. I'm going to stay with this, I think. I'm going to dry it, and then I'm going to come back and show you how we fold it. You can also splatter paint, you know, take your thing and add some splatters to it. I'm not going to do that this time. There is one more step I want to do to the main bag before we start folding. The side pockets I'm not going to worry about because I'm going to make tickets out of those, and they're going to have another kind of stamping. But if you were going to use them, you know, like this, where you backed them and used it for writing, isn't that cool how it bleeds through what it looks like? They would make good writing spots. I really like the tickets, so that's, I think, how I'm going to do both of mine. But at this point, I like to take some stamps and just do some random stamping. Use the black ink for this one. Or you could just do markings. Like take your gel pen and, you know, make some markings on here. Okay, and now I'm going to do some stamping. One kind of looks like tread marks. I kind of like it. And I don't care if it all stamps. It's actually better if it's not, you know, where it would look like, I guess, an actual tread mark on a road. I don't know. But I'm going to ink around the edge before I fold. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I've inked around it all pretty heavily. And I wanted to show you that this side that I tore with the ruler, I love how that looks. See how the ink goes down in those tears? This is the side that I accidentally cut with the scissors because I forgot how I did it. Because I haven't done it for a whole day and my memory just goes away. So that is the difference if you cut with scissors or you tear. You know, I guess it matters to me. I like the torn edge better. So you fold your bag back like it was, where it has the little fold in the bottom. And then I like to start on the back. Make your pocket, fold it down how deep you want it. And I folded it all the way to the bottom. The little edge. and like this. Before you do that, though, make sure this fold is up in the front here. That way you know how far to bring this down. So there's your pocket on the back. You can adjust your height to match your back, either through the first pocket, and it'll be a deep one, or when you create your second pocket. And I kind of just go about halfway on the bottom one, and then I create a smaller one in the middle that's not very deep. You just fold it to the edge of your back, meets to your back panel. So that's how much you have to work with. And I just fold it like so. And then holding it there, smush down whatever's, onto that pocket so that they're even. I hope that makes sense. I know I just gommed that up so bad. But that's what it looks like. So you have one, a little short pocket, and the top pocket. And actually, to me, that's kind of too short. So I'm going to bring this one up a little bit. Now I know you're thinking, I thought you were going to teach me something. I'm trying. Okay, then I'm going to fold this again, where this pocket will be just a little bit deeper. I hope that I didn't cluster that up so bad you don't see what I did there. But basically, you're going to make those pockets whatever size, however deep you want. I didn't measure anything, just to make your back and front equal. And that will initially come from creating your back pocket. So to do that in the order it should have been done, you'll do your normal fold that comes when you get your bag. Turn it over, bring the back all the way down to meet, and fold it. That'll tell you the height of your pocket, which they're all pretty much 7 inches. So then you just adjust this middle pocket and the depth of the bottom pocket so that your two tops meet. I hope that makes sense, and I'm so sorry. So now what I do is I open it up with my little folds, and I don't know that this step is necessary. It's just how I've been doing it. And until I sew it, because I do sew. If you don't sew, you'll want to glue this really well. So I put some glue on the inside here to hold my flap. And on these two flaps. And that doesn't have to be perfect. You're just holding it until you sew it. Like that. So there's your pockets. Now I'm going to finish inking, because when I fold, of course, it's not, you can either straighten this or ink it, because you can see I'm a little bit off. I ink it. I leave it and I just ink. And I like to go ahead and ink the tops of the folds. You could do finger holes here if you wanted. I just think with the inking, it doesn't really need it. And there you have it. There's your bag. So now what I'm going to do is sew around this. But if you didn't want to sew, you could just make sure and glue all the way up both sides. Just the two sides. And that will leave you the pocket in the middle, 2 pockets on the front, and the pocket on the back. Now, let's do our tickets. This is the fun part. I love this. Okay, so on the tickets, I didn't measure. I just folded it into thirds, where there were 3 even pieces. My edge came just like that. And then I opened it back up, so you have 3 pieces. I glued the center, and I did use my glue stick, and I did do it really well because I'm not sewing these or anything, and the paper bag's not that thick, so the glue stick I found really does hold them good enough. And again with the glue, and fold over the other flap. And then that makes them sturdy enough to do the tickets. So there's one strip. I'll do the other one. And there's your both strips. Okay, now on this next part, there's a couple of different ways to do it. I don't measure, I just make them whatever size. I made some that were small, like this. I made some that were this. Just do it how you want. I tended to just pick the size I wanted, and I don't know, that looks good to me, so I'm going to fold it over. And how I did was just an accordion fold from there, making sure this was even with my next one, folding it back. And I try to get the edges, keep them as even as possible for the next step. And the next step, there's many ways to do it too, but I'll show you my lazy way, and then I'll show you how other people do it, or probably people that want it to look exact. So doing it this way, you're going to have one that's not full, and I'm fine with that. I use it like a little torn off piece. I use it too. So with it like this, I got 5 1/4 or 5 3/4 of a ticket. So there's that. Also, you can fold it in the middle. I've seen people do it like this, fold it in the middle, then fold it again, and then take the outside one and fold it back this way. So it's more of it's like an accordion. So you have 4 equal pieces this way, like this. And these are bigger tickets. I think I'll go ahead and just for fun, we'll do them that way this time. So now at this point, I cut my holes, my little notches on the sides. And as you can see, I didn't do very good on this one. Mine were too big, because you just want to take barely a little bit. Now, the best way to do it, to make sure they always come out right, is to, if you have one of these, you can set the edge where it'll go in the middle, the exact same spot every time, on the line, all the way down. I also did it on the top of the first one, just halfway. Then what I do is just on each side, do a half a circle right on the line. But you do that all the way down and then all the way back up the other side. And see, I'm a little lazy. I don't like doing that. So there you have all your holes. And actually, before you did that, we could do the stamping, but we'll do that next. So that is one way to do it. This is how I do it when I cheat, because I don't care if some of the edges are wonky like this. To me, they just look more tattered and worn. So how I do it is I keep it folded, do the same thing with a half, but you go half in the middle, and not very much, or you'll end up being a great big hole. So just maybe not even half, like that. That one didn't come out, but it did on these other pieces. And then I do it on all the 4 corners too. All right, so that when you open it up, you have should have, I didn't go deep enough, all your ones on the edges and the ones in the middle, but I didn't get deep enough on this one on the end, so let's do that again. So when you open it up like this, you have each middle one is already cut. Each of the edges are cut. Now see, I didn't have these lined up. I'm showing you all my mess ups. So I've got to go do it now. I didn't have them lined up good, so I didn't catch these two. But you can do it that way too. This is when I like to ink. And when I do the inking, I like to hold them all together. It's faster that way too. You can get down in the little circles. Okay, so I've got both of them inked now. I think they look really cool. And I want to say this next part was inspired by Nigeza Creates, because she made some with construction paper, and they were all different colors. And that's where, because I was always bothered that I didn't have the ticket stamps. I had ticket stamps, but they didn't fit correctly. I watched her video, and I'll link it below, and that made me realize they can have anything on them, any numbers, words, whatever you want on there is going to look wonderful. I have since gotten some stamp tickets, and actually I think I'm going to try one. I haven't even tried these. These are bigger ones, so I think on these bigger tickets I may try these. And I noticed on this one there's little stars there. I think I'm going to use red on the stars if I can. I don't know. It looks kind of good. It looks kind of old, like an old distress ticket. That's not so bad. Let's try this other one. I love them. I have these little stars. I think I'm going to try to put some on these ones that are just black. There's those. How cool do those look? I love them. And again, you don't even have to use black ink. You can use orange. I've seen tickets with orange. So on this other badge, let's see which side. I think I want to use this side. I did have the word ticket. So I might just use that again. You could draw a little line across there if you wanted to. I'm not going to do that because I am not good with lines. I have this stamp that has dates on it. So I'm going to just use that, just half of it. And when you stamp like this, you'll want to fold your ticket down so that it doesn't get on partly on the bottom one, the next one like that. And you'll notice I'm not inking every time because I kind of like that weathered look of it not coming out perfect. That looks kind of cool. What else I got? A little number here. I don't know what it says, but we're going to try it. Actually, I'm going to wipe that off, and I'm going to make this one orange, I think. And stamp in orange. If you ever get your stamps and they don't stick very good, put a little bit of stick glue on the back, and they'll stick to your block better. Look, I hope you can see that. Doesn't that look cool? Now I think I'm going to do the stars in red. All right, so there's my tickets. One last thing I'm going to do, you know, when you use your tickets, they usually punch a hole in them. So I'm just going to random punch a small hole, not the size I was using. So now they each have a hole. I love it. I love the tickets. See what I do with the other one. Okay, here, we'll punch a hole in these two. Doesn't that look neat? I just love that. I hope you do. Okay, so there we have it. I have sewn down each side. I don't sew across the bottom. I don't think it's really necessary. And I did back stitch at the top and bottom so that they don't tear out. But there is our little bag for our ephemera and our tickets. I love the tickets. I really like how that blue came out on the tickets, and that one was called Peacock Feathers. Okay, so I know I'm a terrible teacher. I really do. I know that on this bag I really gommed that up. But you can do so much with this. You can put down stickers. You can embellish it so much. I hope you like this tutorial. I hope you make some of your own. Or at least it gave you some ideas, better ways to do it, inspire you. Now see, this one I did sew across the bottom, and I think this was my first one, and I think that's when I decided that really wasn't necessary. I didn't like the look of this one any better than the ones that weren't sewn at the bottom. But there they are. I hope you like them. I hope that if you did, please like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I hope you check out my Etsy shop. I will hopefully have these listed soon. And I will have this one. I probably won't post this one because I don't know what I'm going to put in it. And these three are already done. But again, I hope you like this. I hope you make some tickets. These are so fun. And these are wonderful for just added ephemera. You can write on the back. You can use them as tag toppers. But I've used it a couple different places. I've used the tickets as tabs. And I just think that they're so fun and so easy. And no matter what you stamp on them, you don't even have to put ticket. They can just be all numbers. I think I have some like that. They don't even have to be numbers. Again, I'm going to link Nigeza Creates, I think her name, the color Jess, maybe. I don't know. Gosh, I'm probably messing that up bad. But anyway, I hope you like this. I hope you give it a try. Show me some of the things you've done. And I apologize if my tutorial was horrible. I really do. I'm not a good teacher, but these are super easy. Try to give them a try. Let me know what you think. And I appreciate you stopping by, and I will see you next time. Thanks, guys. Bye.